Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to look at using the discriminant. If you've completed the previous video using the quadratic formula, today's lesson will be a lot easier for you. So what do we have? We have a quadratic equation here, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And if we're going to solve this equation, it turns out that there's a formula for it, right? That we can plug in a, b, and c, and this gives us the solution to this equation here. And so this little part here, b squared minus 4ac, is called the discriminant. So there's some nice things that we can find out by only looking at the discriminant, and that is how many solutions there are. If this part, b squared minus 4ac, is bigger than 0, then we have two solutions to this quadratic equation. There's going to be two solutions. The first one is minus b plus root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And the other one is minus b minus root b squared minus 4ac, all that over 2a. All right, so if this chunk is greater than 0, we have two solutions. If the discriminant is equal to 0, right, so we have plus or minus 0, so you have minus b plus 0 or you have minus b minus 0. So there's only one solution, minus b over 2a, like that, right? This part is gone. It's not there anymore. So it's minus b over 2a. So if the discriminant is equal to 0, there is one solution. If the discriminant is less than 0, we end up having square root of a negative, and we can't have that in real numbers. And so in that case, there are no real solutions. And so we use the discriminant to find out how many solutions there are. If you want to find out what those solutions are, you use the entire quadratic formula. But if you only want to know how many, you only need to look at the discriminant. So let's do some examples. Example 1. Determine the number of solutions. So here we're given x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. To know how many solutions there are, we only need to look at the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac. So here b is 1, a is 1, and c is negative 6. Right? Be careful of the c, you include the negative like that. And this gives 25, which is greater than 0. Therefore, there are two solutions. Just notice, remember, we don't know what those solutions are. If you want to know what the solutions are, use the entire quadratic formula. But if you only want to know how many solutions, just the discriminant is good enough, as we can see right here. Okay, b, x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 0. b is 8, a is 1, c is 16, like that. This gives 0. So in other words, there is only one solution to this quadratic equation. C, 6x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0. Plug in b, a, plug in c, like that, which gives 49, which is greater than 0. Therefore, there are two solutions. D, 2x squared plus 5 equals 0. This is the same thing as 2x squared plus 0x plus 5 equals 0, right? So our b value is 0, like that. A is 2, c is 5, which gives negative 40. And this is less than 0. Therefore, there are no real solutions to this quadratic equation. Okay, time for some practice for you guys. So go ahead and pause the video and determine the number of solutions, A, B, C, D. Go ahead and pause the video and answer that. Okay, we're back. So A, x squared plus 3x minus 10 equals 0. A is 1, B is 3, C is negative 10, which gives 49, which is greater than 0. Therefore, there are two solutions. B, we get 0. Therefore, there's only one solution. C, we plug all that in and we get negative 12, which is less than 0. Therefore, there are no real solutions. And D, we plug that in, we get 121, which is greater than 0. Therefore, there are two solutions. Okay, moving on to different kind of examples here. Here the question is, determine the values of k so that this equation has one solution. So we have x squared plus kx plus 9 equals 0, and we want one solution. So because we want one solution, the discriminant has to be equal to 0. So now we're going to plug that in. B is k, A is 1, and C is 9, like that. So we're going to go plus 36 to both sides. So we have k squared equals 36. Square root both sides. So we got plus minus root 36, which is plus or minus 6. So we have two cases. K equals 6 or k equals negative 6 gives one solution to this quadratic equation. B. Determine the values of k so that this equation has no real solution. Well, if it has no solution, the discriminant has to be less than 0. So we're going to plug in B, plug in A, and plug in C like that. We're going to put k on its own, so we're going to go plus 4k to both sides, so 9 less than 4k. We want to isolate k on its own, so we're going to divide by 4 on both sides. So if k is greater than 9 over 4, then there is no real solution. C. Determine the values of k so that this equation has two solutions. If it has two solutions, the discriminant has to be greater than 0. Plug in B, plug in A, plug in C. This gives 4 plus 12k greater than 0. Minus 4 to both sides, 12k greater than negative 4. Divide by 12 on both sides, reduces to k being greater than negative 1 over 3. And so if k is greater than negative 1 over 3, we get two solutions as long as k is not 0 as well. Okay, time for some practice for you guys. So here we go, A, B, C. Go ahead and pause the video and answer those questions. Okay, we're back. So A, this equation equals 0, one solution. One solution, therefore discriminant is equal to 0. Plug in B, plug in A, plug in C. K squared equals 16. Root both sides, k is plus or minus 4. So k equals 4 or negative 4 gives one solution. B, this equation with no real solutions, so the discriminant has to be less than 0, it has to be negative. Plug in A, B, C like that. 16 less than 8k, divide by 8 on both sides. K greater than 2 gives no real solution. Last one, C. Here's our equation, two solutions. So b squared minus 4ac has to be greater than 0. This gives us k being less than 9 over 8, and k not being 0 gives two solutions. And that's it. It's that easy. I'll see you guys in the next video.